Altrincham Manager Phil Parkinson joins me after the 1-0 defeat against Wealdstone. Phil, there's plenty to talk about in that game. We certainly weren't at our best, but the big talking point is the performance of the referee, and he was all over the place.
Yeah, he reflected our performance in the first half. He was, I hate saying it, I very rarely complain about the referees, but I felt to be as bad as he was, he completely changed the complexion of the game for us, where we were probably on top in the first 10, and then we have that penalty that's not given. And then listen, there's no excuses for me for the players' performance. We were absolutely abysmal in the first half. The worst I've seen us for a long time. It's very rare that I've stood in front of you and said that, and they've been told. And I should have probably made the substitutions at half-time and not waited 5 minutes, which probably cost us the one chance that they've had and they've scored. We've gifted them a goal again. And then to miss the chances that we have in the second half is absolutely scandalous. We should never have lost that game with the chances we created in the second half. We should be winning that 3-1. It's so bad. To miss those types of chances, it just can't happen. And you've got to give Wealdstone credit. They've really dug in. They've come and they've given it everything tonight. And sometimes when things aren't going for you, you get a performance like that gives you a little lift, and that could be Wealdstone tonight. They've had a few tough defeats, and that's this division, isn't it? You can never underestimate anyone, and we certainly didn't underestimate, and we know what a good team they are. We've come close with them a few times, but for me, I've stood in front of you many times as the part-time manager and said how well we've done and against a full-time team, and they'll take a lot of credit for that. But we've absolutely battered that door down, and they're not even difficult chances. They've got to be goals, and that's kind of been the story of our season. Not efficient enough in front of goal at times. That was us at the start when we're not getting results. This will be one that we look back on and we should have won. Never mind lose.
How many penalties do you think we should have had?
I think 2 off the top of my head. One, I think it was Chris Clark, wasn't it, who's gone through, and one on Ryan Colclough in the second half. I think there was a third, but I can't remember it now. I just hate saying it about the officials, but I've never seen it as bad of a performance. But it can't cost us a game, and I feel he has tonight. I feel he's had a major impact on the game. It's bad to say that, but unfortunately he has. And listen, I'm not going to stand in front of you and say I don't make bad decisions, I don't do things that are wrong, and I get absolutely hammered when I make bad decisions. So he's had a bad game, and he deserves all the criticism he gets tonight, because he certainly cost our team, or he's influenced the game where it's gone the wrong way for us.
The one on Chris Clark, it seemed as if he wasn't absolutely sure, and therefore he's given him the benefit of the doubt, probably because he knows he's got to send the defender off.
Absolutely, and how early it is in the game, but this is what players have to be ready at the start of the game. It's cost us not being ready at the start of the second half, but it can't be where officials cost you. I mean, it's not just us, is it? It's at all levels. The human beings, they're going to have bad days, they're going to make mistakes, but unfortunately for us, it's had a detrimental effect on the game. So I'm certainly not going to say he's a bad referee, but he's had a bad day today.
And ironically, we started the second half well with a good move down the right. Cadger's put in a good ball in. And then from the corner, they broke. And before you know it, the ball's in the back of our nets. And it is so frustrating when we come out with a plan for the second half. And then within a couple of minutes, it's not undone, but it's affected.
No, it is undone, Brian. You're absolutely right to say that. You know I'll defend the players, but to start the second half like that, it's happened too many times. It's the same players making similar mistakes, and I've got to do something about it. I know who it is or who they are, and it can't be where I'm constantly protecting them. They've got to stand up and be counted, and they've got to start doing it quick. I keep saying there's no losses, there's learning opportunities, but some people are making the same mistakes, and they've got to start stepping up. Otherwise, I'll have to do something about it.
One person who I thought was outstanding tonight was Ryan Colclough. I felt really sorry for him because he's put an absolute shift in. He's taken his man every time. He's put a few chances on plates for people, and he's got to be tearing his hair out tonight.
Absolutely, but he should do that every week, Brian. So I'm his biggest fan. I can't speak highly enough of him. I've just said in there, some of our players are lucky to sort of experience playing on the same pitch as him. When he's like that, he's a different level. But I expect Ryan to do that every week because he's good enough to do that, and he's not far from that most weeks. But tonight, because so many of them were below par, he stood out like a shining light, and he carried the team. He dragged us into some kind of contention in the game, got more out of the players around him. Unselfish play, fizzing it across the box, picking players out, driving past other players, taking responsibility on the ball, showing massive amounts of quality and skill. And you're absolutely right, he'd be devastated. But all the other lads were second half. Yep, Ryan was absolutely the standout, but it's a huge performance in the second half. We could have just sulked, not got on with it. I know they sat off us, which, hey, if they're going to sit off, they're going to make us, they're going to defend. And we created enough chances to win the game. It's just absolutely diabolical finishing that's cost us. Well, we haven't got any points, 0 points, because we can't finish tonight. And again, when we're playing poorly in the first half, the message was, if you're going to play that bad again in the second half, make sure you don't lose. So we weren't resilient enough at the start of the second half. But then I can't have a go at them in the second half for that performance. They've done. I know people will say backward sides, but when you've got a 5 and a 4 behind the ball, you've got to wait your moments. And we created enough chances. We did everything right in the second half to get the points, but unfortunately we weren't clinical enough.
We've got a break now, a week until the game against Barnet. So 2 more home games coming up. And when you look at 3 home games on the bounty, you see it as an opportunity. There's still plenty of opportunity there, but we need to get it right against Barnet next Tuesday.
We do. We're playing 2 very strong teams coming up. Good that they're at home, so we can't feel sorry for ourselves. And this division. It's ruthless, isn't it? We've said it since we've been in it. It's a real tough division. Teams can have one chance and punish you, but if we were a little bit more clinical, not just in this game, in some of the opening games, we're sitting in a really healthy, comfortable position. We've got to do better in both boxes. At the start of both halves, we've got to do better, and we will. Because I keep saying it, it's not like we're a bad team now because we've lost this game. We're hurting. Everyone's really sore about that result. But listen, we'll beat some better teams than ourselves, better teams than Wealdstone, and unfortunately we'll lose to the teams at the other end of the table as well, because that's where we are with this young group. They're inconsistent. As you saw, that was a proper Jacqueline High performance there, wasn't it? First and second half. You can say what you want about how they pressed or how they set off. But to create that amount of chances, it's an absolute scandal that we haven't got anything out of that game.